Tonight, a KTC investigation on a potential constitutional conflict in Louisiana.
At one time or another, we all go to court, hopefully for minor offenses, things like traffic violations. But whatever it is, under the Constitution, we're all guaranteed something called due process. It's essentially the right to a fair trial protected for all U.S. citizens under the 14th Amendment, which guarantees the right to an impartial judge and a fair shake from the system. But our investigation uncovered due process might need a do-over in Louisiana, especially in towns with reputations for being speed traps. Louisiana and Ohio are the only two states in the country with what are called mayor's courts. The mayor can act as not only the mayor, but also as judge and jury, holding trials to enforce ordinances and imposing sentences and fines, mostly on traffic violations. We found there's very little oversight for these courts. There are hundreds in Louisiana, but there is a potential conflict that could mean big money and big problems for many communities right here in Acadiana.
It's no secret, even if you're going just a little over the speed limit along I-49 in the St. Landry Parish town of Washington,
but I locked him in at 82, so we're going to be 82.
You'll probably get pulled over. The town has a reputation for being a speed trap, something town officials don't shy away from.
My job as an enforcer, we have to enforce the law.
But once you get your ticket, like Eric Shohan,
They caught me going 5 miles over the speed limit.
or George Blakely,
I was doing 80 in the 75.
you end up here, Washington Town Hall, third Tuesday of the month. Mayor's Court is in session.
So you came to court. Do you know who's the judge in the court?
No.
Are you aware that it's the mayor of the town?
I was not.
To have the mayor being the judge and the mayor, he, like I said, I don't think it's fair.
It's a question that's been posed before, 1,100 miles away in Monroeville, Ohio. The year was 1972. A man by the name of Clarence Ward was faced with a traffic violation and thought it was biased that the mayor, who was in charge of the town's finances, was deciding his guilt or innocence and subsequent fines. His question, did the mayor see guilt as a financial incentive for his budget? Ward took his case all the way to the United States Supreme Court and won. The courts ruled that in this particular case, because a, quote, major part of the town's income came from traffic fines, the mayor was biased. We crunched the numbers. In Monroeville, Ohio, that major part of the town's income from mayor's court fines totaled 42%. Guess what it is in Washington, Louisiana? A staggering 71%.
Wow, if 40% was unconstitutional, I can imagine what 70% is very unconstitutional.
So how does Washington Mayor Joseph Pete remain unbiased in mayor's court with so much money at stake? We tried to ask him, but he didn't return our phone calls
Mr. Mayor?
or come to the door, even when his neighbors said he was home.
Like judges and stuff like that, they went to school for that. A mayor did not go to school for that.
I would like to have it investigated, you know, because I really don't think it's fair.
And our investigation continues tomorrow night. Turns out Washington isn't alone. We take a look at other mayor's courts in Acadiana that also bring in more than 42% of their revenue from mayor's court fines. And given the precedent set by the U.S. Supreme Court, how is it some of these courts are able to operate in the first place? And what are your options if you've been tried in a mayor's court? Part 2 of our investigation tomorrow night at 10 o'clock.